I'm searching for Britain's most entertaining amateur a cappella group. Great! Hundreds applied from across the UK, each with their own unique sound. And I handpicked 8.
Yes, yes, yes.
After 2 tense sing-offs, Spinnaker Chorus and Flight of the Phoenix failed to make the grade.
I'll miss them in the contest, but it wasn't to be.
Just 6 groups now remain. I'm bringing them all together for the first time to face intensive training.
Welcome to A Cappella School.
This week, it's back to basics, as I focus on each group's sound. With help from some of the best in the business.
No, that's just not working.
We'll test them as performers.
Just strip it back, sing the bloody song.
This is tough, but something has to change.
And push them to their vocal limits.
Rhythm, 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 rhythm. Just get the rhythm solid.
Before they perform live once more in front of my a cappella experts. This jury's vote will decide who stays.
Thrilling ride. I absolutely loved what they did.
And which group goes home.
It did feel like it was cobbled together a bit.
Of course it's going to be challenging, because it's about getting better. It's about finding the best. It's not a walk in the park.
This week, I'm in the West Midlands, where I'm bringing all 6 surviving groups together at the state-of-the-art Performance Hub.
It happens to have been opened by somebody very special.
For the next few days, this place will become home as the groups continue their battle to stay in the contest.
Everybody's of such a high standard that we can only just keep delivering our best performances.
We'll see what the challenge is, and then maybe the nerves will kick in.
We just want to be the best, so we're going to do it. We're going to work twice as hard as we did, and we work quite a lot.
With its dance studios, rehearsal rooms and cutting-edge facilities, this is the perfect setting to push the remaining groups to new heights before they compete again in the Hub's very own theatre.
Over the coming days, you are going to live, breathe, eat a cappella as you prepare for your next big challenge. In just 3 days, you will be singing here in front of a live audience to stay in this contest. 3 days. I am not going to be making life very easy for you. You will once again be singing a song of my choosing, but this time it will be a song that will tackle your weaknesses. A couple of you look utterly dismayed. I would like you to go off to your individual classrooms where you will find out what songs you are going to be singing. Best of luck. See you very soon. Off you go.
What's this, son? Read me.
Each of the groups has an Achilles heel in terms of their sound. The only way they'll improve is if they tackle these weaknesses head-on.
Tape as well.
Blimey, that's old.
Popping their tape in the deck first are Stratford East Singers, a community choir from London.
I think it might be something slow. I think it something fast.
Most choirs recruit to fill set roles, like tenor, alto or bass. But because anyone can join this group, they don't have this ideal mix of voices.
Take a chance on me.
ABBA's Take a Chance on Me cleverly balances the male and female vocals. It will force Stratford East singers to think about how they balance the roles within their group.
We've got to work out. We're going to make ABBA cool. How do we take an anthem and make it completely Stratford East singers? I guess that's the biggest challenge that I've got right now.
Does it go another way? No, I want to...
Fantastic.
Just get it!
Glasgow University group Choral Stimulation came up with a fun but fussy arrangement in their first heat. The challenge I've set for them is to deliver something that relies on simplicity and sincerity. Sinead O'Connor's iconic take on Nothing Compares to You will push this group to pare things back and sing with emotion.
The beauty of the song is that it's just one stripped back, beautiful melody, but we're not used to doing that, are we?
Ready?
Yeah.
Congratulations, Restless Symphony, and welcome to this next stage of the contest. You have some.
I've also given a ballad to the other student group in the contest, Restless Symphony, but their challenge is different.
Get that in.
This group have struggled with confidence and blending harmonies. T'Pau's rock classic China in Your Hand requires real conviction and vocal unison.
We have to practice and we have to start now. We've got 3 days.
There's a message here for us, guys. Dear YesterYear.
Going up against the youngsters are the granddads of the contest, YesterYear.
The key thing that I and the jury felt you needed to improve was your ability to master rhythm and tempo. For your next challenge, I've selected an up-tempo modern song, Lots of Love, Gareth. Does anybody know it? No. Never.
Shake It Off by Taylor Swift has a strong pulse and tempo that will directly address this group's weak spot.
Isn't really our song, is it? No. It can't possibly be.
Shake.
Stop!
How long has this been on? This isn't just outside the comfort zone. It's outside the country.
81-year-old Len is this East Midlands group's oldest member. He no longer sings, but is ever present as YesterYear's compere.
I love entertaining, and I used to be an instructor at the police training centre. I used to tell jokes in the classroom. I love to see people with smiles on their face, and I love the applause that these guys get at the end of an evening.
Hello, gentlemen. Hello. Don't kill me, Martin. So I take it you love it.
Never heard such crap in all my life.
Don't pull any punches. Tell me what you really think. This could really work to your advantage in this contest. You've got an opportunity to do something that no one's expecting here.
You're bloody right.
There are spoken words in this. There is a rap. There may be a role for you. And listen, I'm not saying send it up, but there is an opportunity here to do something surprising and wonderful.
Just remember this, Gareth. If it all goes pear-shaped, it's your fault.
OK, thank you. I will.
Yes. Birmingham's six-piece, The Sons of Pitches, have an intricate and quirky pop sound.
OK, so I know what we expected.
I want to challenge them to produce something simpler and richer that can move an audience.
Just you know why.
Anyone?
Why you
The smooth sounds of Buddy Holly's True Love Ways need slick but simple harmonies, plus heartfelt delivery.
I will like it. No, I won't like it. I think it's something to make what I can of it.
Sometimes we'll cry.
Last up, Gospel Essence, a group with a soulful sound that I feel lacks one vital ingredient.
Hello, Gospel Essence. You have some fantastic voices in your group. What I feel you need to concentrate on is bringing energy and pace to each and every performance.
It's Essex Express.
Dance classic, the theme from S Express is inescapably up-tempo and energetic.
It's just
It's a club track.
I know what it is.
Yeah, but we have to take it and make it our own, don't we?
Hello! Hello! Oh dear, I'm seeing some pretty gloomy faces here. You've given up standing. There is a way through this that gets you to the place you need to be. Sparky, energetic, fun.
Yeah, I think we're just a bit stunned right now.
Yeah. Square up to it. Best of British. Thank you. See you later.
Come on, Amy.
I hate the song. Just noise, and we're going to have to really try and replicate 80s synth. I just, you know, I don't know.
Lessons will start first thing tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
The room's all right, guys.
Tonight, as well as settle into their new digs, the groups must start work on their arrangements, all set for class in the morning.
The groups that go through will be groups that square up to this challenge. Things that are difficult, we shy away from, but it's through doing them that we learn. It's going to be tough. You know, this is a cappella school. It's not a walk in the park.
Day 1 of lessons.
Tony's breakfast and a coffee to wake him up.
And we left him with a 4-pack of beer, so she
We did a bit of avoidance therapy last night, yeah. Start fresh today.
While the groups enjoy breakfast, their mentors arrive. I've enlisted the help of 4 specialists, including top-class vocal coaches and a world champion beatboxer. These 4 will help me push the groups to improve their sound and attain the standard of vocal excellence I'm looking for. Kick-starting classes, University Group Choral Stimulation. Their first task is to appoint a soloist. On hand to help, Leontine Haas, a graduate of the Royal Academy of Music and coach to the UK's leading vocal harmony groups.
Nothing compared to you.
Who are the contenders? Which of you?
Me and Caitlin and Hannah.
I can tell you what I think. Because what it's about, it's not just about your voices. What I want to see is that you can connect up. Come on, have a go. Pick one of your best friends. Great. And don't start singing before you've connected.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been 7 hours and 15 days since you took your love away.
I want you to try to dare to show your feelings rather than hide them.
We're actually finding that quite hard.
Who's next?
It's been 7 hours and 16 days since you took your love away. Go out every night and sleep all day since you took your love.
You're making me cry now. Well done. Good. Right. Okay. I think it'd be good if you gave it a shot. Yeah?
I can eat my dinner in a fancy restaurant.
Newly appointed soloist Caitlin is the baby of the group. At 19, her university career is just starting, unlike some of her friends in the choir who are about to graduate.
How are you feeling about it? Because you were quite emotional.
When I do sing it, when I get upset, I'm thinking about everyone else in the group. This year, there are a lot of people leaving, and the music just creates such a strong bond that you don't really want to break that, you know? But it's because I know that we can't do it forever.
You're being very generous because you're letting us in. Great performances are about being in the moment. You're mature enough to handle it, and you have the power to just rein it back in if you feel yourself losing it.
Yeah.
Another group I've challenged to work on bringing emotion to their performance is all-male 6-piece The Sons of Pitches.
Slower.
They've put lives and careers on hold to follow their dream of making it big as an a cappella group.
I like the speed up there. Sons of Pictures kind of means everything to me. And if we could make it into something where, you know, we can live off it, it would just be the best thing.
We've just become sort of really good mates. Yeah. Just have a good time together.
Just good friends.
Yeah.
The group have selected 24-year-old Jamie to take the lead in Buddy Holly's True Love Ways.
Can we just go straight in?
Straight in? Yeah. Great.
Yeah, sure. Fantastic.
Just you know
The solo's a crucial role that carries the song's emotional weight.
I did not feel serenaded by that. It's a love song, right? And I need more of the emotion. Have you got a partner?
This is maybe not the time.
It needs to be someone.
Hello, the Sons of Pictures. How are you? I'm looking forward to hearing it. Is it there? Are you done?
Yeah, very close.
This was all about heart for me.
It's going to make it more about, like, us boys singing together, just them and us, you and I, that sort of thing.
It's man love.
Yeah. It's man love. It's man love.
But I'll raise you romantic love because it's a caress, this song. It's a...
We've got a sticking point.
We've got a sticking point.
We have a sticking point.
What's the sticking point?
Various relationship things.
You're having relationship issues. Can we have a quick chat?
Cool.
What's happened?
Just recently come to the end of a relationship.
Okay. Which makes this very painful.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
No. Okay.
Sorry.
You're not a heart on the sleeve type?
It's probably fair,
Yeah, okay. You know, if you are going to be a singer, you've got to be able to do these sorts of things. It's just opening the door to a really sincere performance that comes from a real place.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Can we agree that you're going to try?
I'll give it a go.
If I was having this conversation with my 23, 24-year-old self, I don't know if could I have done it? Maybe. But I know that unless Jamie gets his head round this, maybe not today, maybe not even in this round, but at some point this is what Sons of Pictures have to tackle. They've got to be more open. They've got to be less clever and much more honest in their singing.
Like, we're quite a tight group, but not necessarily, like, sharing of emotions tight. So yeah, standing in a room talking about love, it's an interesting step.
Love and emotion is a massive aspect of life, even if it's a bit corny. We should really ultimately talk about it.
And music, you know, we can't be musicians and ignore the fact that probably about well over half of songs are about love.
Mid-morning, and a tea break gives the groups a brief respite from the classroom.
Oh, yeah, good. Well, it's getting better all the time, you know.
Today, the groups must nail their arrangements and allot parts to avoid falling behind and jeopardising their place in the contest. Limbering up ahead of their lesson, traditional barbershop group YesterYear.
It's growing on me, let's put it that way.
They're awaiting the arrival of mentor and world-renowned beatboxer, Ballsy.
Shake, shake.
How are you doing? I'm Patrick, a.k.a. Ballsy. I'm the three-time UK beatbox champion and just got crowned the world team champion with the UK. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Let's just do a really quick beatbox warm-up. What I'm going to do is hopefully get you guys more gelled as a unit with the timing and the rhythm. Give you guys that pulse, hopefully. So we're going to start with... in fact, do you guys want to show me what you've got so far?
Beatboxing is an important part of modern a cappella, providing the solid rhythm and tempo that YesterYear need. It's not a skill the group have tried before, but assistant head teacher Sam is rising to the challenge.
Nice. If you could just take the kick and the snare, so... And then, do you think you could do... Would you maybe do some shakers?
We've got 4 different versions here, all sorts of different things happening. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's rushing. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the bloody rhythm, okay? And it ain't gonna change the whole song. Rhythm, 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 rhythm. Just get the rhythm solid. It's so simple. I don't understand. I really don't understand how they can be so good at so many aspects of music and yet fail to just do something so basic as just stay in time.
My ex-girlfriend bought her man a new...
Keeping time is more crucial than ever for this performance, as it will act as a cue for Len. For the first time, he's doing more than just comparing by taking on Taylor Swift's rap.
Len, are you nervous about getting it on time?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we take a bit of that nerves away? Can you just say, my ex-girlfriend, da-da-da-da? Do a Len on it. Make it Len. 1, 2, 3, 4.
My ex-girl brought her new man home. He's like, oh my God, but I'm just gonna shake. And to the gal over there with the hella good hair, won't you come on over, baby? We can shake, shake, shake.
And of course, now you do it perfectly. Yeah, that's great. That's perfect. It's fun, but can they actually pull it off? I mean, I really, really have a big question about whether they can do it.
This has stretched our versatility and stretched, more importantly, our imagination. And we tend to like it now.
Still learning to love the track I chose for them, Gospel Essence. Musical director Rebecca started this group 5 years ago with siblings Paulina and Louis, and has steadily drafted in more members, including mum of one, Michelle.
This is how I want the rest of my life to be. I want it to be music. I want it to be music whatever way I can make it. And I suppose if somebody's only 21 or 22, this is like, well, this is a great experience. But to me, in a way, this is it.
You all right?
Checking on Gospel Essence's progress is former Brit school tutor and award-winning choir director Mark DeLissa.
Oh, well, I'd love to hear what you guys have done with it so far. How have you done it?
In terms of actually arranging parts for people to sing, we haven't got that far just yet.
How long you had the song for?
12 hours.
12 hours. And you've done nothing. Okay. How do we get into this right now, as quickly as we possibly can?
1, 2, 3, and... Doesn't...
Should we go up and do it? Like,
yeah.
Let's go up and give it.
Rebecca, quickly, let me just have a quick word. Give me a second, guys. You have to take leadership of this. Like, 100%, yeah? And it is now for you to go and listen to that arrangement and say, right, you are singing this. You are singing this. This has got to take time, all right? And we ain't got time, okay?
It's not clean enough. Try and tighten it up.
Going out because you've done your best is one thing, but going out because you've kind of let everyone down is not what I don't want that responsibility, and that's not what we signed up for. But there's no time to even sort of process it. I've just got to get on with it.
Mentor Mark's next visit is to community choir Stratford East Singers. Their open-door policy makes them an inclusive bunch, but it also affects their precision.
All right, just do your ooh-ahs for me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and...
I've briefed Mark to help unify their sound.
OK, cool. The harmony isn't sitting and gelling well together, but we can get it better, all right?
Hello. Hi. Are you liking the song? Is it coming?
Yeah.
Well, let me just hear it.
If you change your mind, I'm the first in line. Honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. If you need me, let me know. We'll be around. Ain't no place to go. Feeling down.
Good, I'm in. I really enjoyed that. You have, I think, made something very cheesy a little bit cooler. I mean, yeah, but now it's tightening these nuts and bolts. And make sure it's absolutely in tune. I'll leave you in Mark's capable hands and you'll just make that happen. Good. All right, see you later. Good. Good job. Well done. Thank you. I've got a sense of excitement about this. They've gone from this big, overblown sort of community choir sound, which is lovely, but inexact. And they're actually starting to work like an a cappella group.
It was a theme she had, done a scheme he had, told in a foreign land.
As day one of lessons nears its end, I'm checking in on Southampton students' Restless Symphony. They're talented solo performers who I want to push to work better as a unit.
Don't hold too hard. Have you not done that bit? No, I'm going. OK, a couple of bits of it were like dental surgery towards the end. And also, it's complicated. Yeah, I can see you all going, what's my note, what's my note? If at the end of today you're still going, how does it go? Think about making the radical decisions today. This is just a bit hard, I can't do it. What I really want to see from Restless Symphony is a unified sound with a fantastic soloist. And they're trying, but they're trying it on really complicated material.
We've got kind of a little bit carried away, I think. It is early days, but when you've only got 3 days, early days is irrelevant, really.
School's out as the first day of lessons concludes.
It's halfway, and I feel like some of the groups are on the way and some of the groups really aren't. All of these songs have turned out to be much more challenging than anyone thought. There's a lot of work to be done tomorrow.
For Gospel Essence, the hard work can't wait until tomorrow. They're hunkering down to make up for lost time.
We just have to be relentless with it. I can hear that they're not in the right key. It's annoying me, but it's annoying me.
Can you do a couple?
If we come in on each third, then we always overlap.
Each third?
I do want people to have a sleep, but I want the song to be finished more than I want people to sleep. So we just have to get it to work faster.
Gospel Essence, like all my groups, now have little more than 24 hours to get on track or risk leaving the contest for good.
Boys, come on. Come on. Go ahead.
How you doing?
Day 2.
Hi.
Just one more day of mentoring before the groups face a live audience and the all-important jury. These 7 experts have been selected from a range of disciplines, including beatboxing, performance coaching, and, crucially this week, vocal training.
Perfect blend is like the holy grail of choral singing. To get all of your singers singing the right notes, with the right vowel sounds and the right tone, when it happens, it's fantastic.
Leading lights from the worlds of gospel, university, barbershop, and pop a cappella complete the jury. Tomorrow, they'll all have their say on who stays and which group goes home. Keen to show the jury they've improved their sound, Southampton students' Restless Symphony are getting in some practice before class. Yesterday, I tasked them with simplifying their arrangement.
Good morning. How are you?
Hopeful.
Hopeful.
Yes.
Good.
Feeling hopeful.
Feeling hopeful. I think it's my duty as headmaster of a cappella school is to make sure you've just got something that works from beginning to end.
Don't push too far your dreams. Don't wish you
It's a bit clever. It's just, thank you, let me stop you there, because it makes me, rather than going, da 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 da, sing along in my head, I go, what What are you doing? Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Jurassic Park. They've gone away and worked on it, and they have something that is functional. They still need to put a bit of magic in it. It needs tinsel, but, you know, the Christmas tree is standing.
Slow starters, Gospel Essence have barely slept, but they finally have something to show mentor Mark.
Just stop, but it sounded better.
I'm just not getting the energy. Either you want this or you don't. You now have to come out of yourselves and absolutely deliver. Let's go from top.
Dr. Mark will make it all right.
Really strong, come on!
In a bold move, the group have decided to incorporate animal sounds into their arrangement.
All right. This jungle thing, I get it. But commit to it. What's your sound? Do it.
Oh my God, I've drawn blood. Can we get the medic, please?
Drew blood. Medic, go up to the second floor immediately, please. Okay.
What we need to do is put you up to the Warsaw Man Hospital.
Yeah, that looks like a hospital job.
Right. Keep both eyes closed.
Well, what we managed to do is get our energy levels up, we get them to a place they need to be, and then something happens. Michelle. I just don't know. I just don't know if we're going to have what we need to deliver tomorrow. And now we've assaulted one of the mentors, so it's not going great.
So far unscathed by his mentoring experience, Dominic Peckham is fine-tuning the Stratford East singers. He's drawing on his experience as a patron of the Voice Festival, the UK's biggest a cappella organisation.
The execution of the consonants is too slow. I'm hearing take out 1 second, chance. Yeah? I want take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. 1, 2, 3, go. Take a chance.
Take a chance, 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 take a chance.
That is so much better. Ticket prices just went up, yeah? To £27.50, yeah?
Rival groups, Choral Stimulation,
And I can eat my dinner in a fancy restaurant.
and the Sons of Pitches are both grappling with how to bring emotion to a performance.
It's been so lonely without you here, like a bird without a song.
For me, that was quite a powerful moment because all of a sudden you would like, boom, straight out. And it was like, whoa.
High praise for Choral Stimulation, but the Sons of Pitches haven't had the same breakthrough.
It's just very flat. Jamie looks like he's reading a shopping list. This is a love song. They have to love it and they have to show that they love somebody else. It's going to be the difference between them doing well in this contest and them really just falling at the first hurdle.
Across the hall,
1, 2, 3, 4.
YesterYear have made a daring bid to improve the rhythm and tempo in their moves as well as their melodies.
Shake it up, never miss a beat. Here we go, verse 2. Now I get on my feet. That's just a scene. Shake it off. Yeah!
Yes! I'm not laughing at you. I'm really not. I'm laughing at you. Your commitment to it is wonderful. It is not the best technical singing I've ever heard, but it's a show. It's what you do so well. I want to be an old guy like them. I want to be up there on stage when I'm 75. I find it moving that they're all mates together. They're all trying. It's kind of hopeless, but it is really wonderful.
Decidedly not having as much fun as yesteryear are Gospel Essence. The group's slow progress only got slower when Michelle injured mentor Mark with an ill-judged high five.
I've got some news about Mark.
Okay.
He's totally fine.
Yay!
In fact, he's out there.
Hello. Come here.
I'm absolutely fine. It looks worse than it is.
It just looks worse than it is.
You don't worry.
Never
again.
It's all lo-fi.
It's all lo-fi. It's all lo-fi. All right?
Can we call this incident done? And don't let it affect your performance.
Yeah. Okay. That's all you have to do.
Mark might be back, but time's up for mentoring. Classes are over and everything now hinges on tomorrow's performances.
Big day tomorrow because somebody's going. I wish Restless Symphony's arrangement were a little bit better. They're just about getting there, but it's a bit late. Sons of Pictures. If your group has a weakness, then this contest will weed it out. Gospel Essence are in the most trouble. They didn't get far enough, quickly enough. Now they're way behind. But you never know what's going to happen in front of the audience.
With show day looming, the groups use these final few hours to cram in last-minute practice. All except YesterYear, who've decided to escape for a taste of their traditional remedy for pre-performance nerves.
It don't affect me. I do it while I'm in a trance, which is permanent.
If we deliver our game and the performance we've done today, we will do very well. And if it's not good enough, we'll go home and we'll get on with the rest of our lives.
However sure that might
Performance day. Time to find out if the group's hard work these past few days will pay off.
We want this to be perfect and we want to show everybody our magic.
I'm tingling and I just want to go out and do it.
A cappella school has been utterly brilliant. I can't believe how much all these groups have developed. They've taken this challenge on the chin and gone for it. Every single group has improved. It's just a question now of who's improved enough to stay in.
Personally, I'm nervous, but that's not a bad thing, is it?
Game face is on.
The Hub's theatre will soon be filled with friends, family and members of the public. And while the groups want to please this audience, it's the jury they really need to impress. As ever, they want to be entertained, but this week they'll zero in on how the groups have improved vocally, listening for impressive solos, beatboxing and blend.
The precision of their singing is crucial. It's being precise with the word sounds, their intonation and the diction, as well as any kind of chord structures in harmonies that they've built up.
Vocals might be in the spotlight, but the jury will still want to see stage presence, audience engagement and strong choreography.
When I'm judging an a cappella performance, the first thing I'm looking for actually is, does the whole thing make sense? Does the sound match up with the visual and the style that they're going for?
With the jury in place, the show can begin.
Excited, really? Yeah. We just want to do it now. Just want to do it.
And relax.
This is a trip.
Oh, yes.
Enjoy this trip.
Hello! Thank you very much. Shall we get the ball rolling then with the first of our 6 a cappella groups? Welcome, the Sons of Pitches.
Just you know why
Sometimes we'll sigh, sometimes we'll cry, and we'll know why. Just you and I know true love's way. Throughout the day, our true love ways will bring us joys to share with those who really care. Sometimes we sigh, sometimes we cry, and we'll know why. Just you and I know true love's way. No true love way. No true love way. No true love. No true love way. No true love way.
There was a slight lack of energy and fear in that I've not seen in them before, but still, good. Next up, the Stratford East Singers.
Take a chance, 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 take a chance.
If you change your mind, I'm the first in line. Honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. If you need me, let me know. Gonna be around. If you got no place to go, if you're feeling down, take a chance on me. We can go dancing, we can go walking. Let's walk sweet together. Listen to some music, maybe just talking, get to know you better. You know I got so much that I wanna do. When I dream I'm alone with you, it's magic. You say you wanna leave me there, afraid of a love affair, but I think you know that I can't let go.
If you change your, if you change your, if you change your, if you change your,
If you change your mind, I'm the first in line. Honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. If you need me, let me know. I'll be around. If you got no place to go, you're feeling down. Hey.
bum 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 bum.
Not perfect, a bit of a shaky start there, but they pulled it off. Bringing a unique brand of old-school charm to a modern pop masterpiece, please welcome YesterYear!
One, two, three, four. I stay up too late, but nothing on my brain. But that's what people say. That's what people say. I go on too many dates, but I can make them stay. That's what people say. That's what people say. I never miss a beat. I'm watching on my feet. That's just what they see. And that's just what they see. I'm dancing on my own. Make the moves up as I go. But that's what they don't know. That's what they don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4.
My ex-girl
girlfriend brought her home last night. Oh, my God! Earl up there with the hella blonde hair. Come down, pretty girl, and that shake, shake, shake. 1, 2, 3. 'Cause the player's gonna play, 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 play. And the hater's gonna hate, 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 hate. Baby, I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. And shake it up, and shake it up. Shake it off! Yeah!
Oh, there were some really, really dodgy moments in that, but I think overall it felt like the audience really liked it. There were lots of smiles. I'm not sure it was the best they've ever done it.
I feel that I've let these guys down a little bit. Yeah. Because I fumbled over the words.
No one's let the side down. We came as a team, and we're still a team.
Next to take the stage, Restless Symphony.
It was a theme she had on a scheme he had, told in a foreign land. To take life on earth to the second birth, and the man was in command. It was a flight on the wings of a young girl's dreams that flew too far away. Don't push too far your dreams, a china in your hands. Don't dream too hard because they might come true, and you can't help them. You don't know what's right, plan upon yourself. China in your hands. Come from greed and a born to see, like a part of a fine land. Eyes wide, like a child in the form of a man. A prophecy for a fantasy, a curse of a vivid heart. It's all China in China in your
They had some wobbles, but, you know, that was a real success for them, but my God, they were nervous.
Next to perform Gospel Essence.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This is a trip. Enjoy this trip.
Countdown. It's progressive. Enjoy this trip.
I don't think anyone knew quite what to make of it, but actually the jury are smiling. It was absolutely ridiculous and wonderful at the same time.
was like going to the moon and back. It was interstellar.
We did, animal noises on national TV.
Sad times now, because this is our final group. Ladies and gentlemen, choral stimulation.
It's been 7 hours and 50 days since you took your love away. Go out every night and sleep all day since you took your love away. And I can eat my dinner in a fancy restaurant, but nothing can take away these blues, 'cause nothing compares to you. All the flowers that you planted, Mama, in the backyard, all died when you went away. And I know that living with you, baby, was sometimes hard. Ooh, but I'm willing to give it another try. 'Cause nothing compares, and nothing compares to
Unstoppable. I mean, what that... Compared with their first round, that was like a different group. That was amazing. Choral stimulation.
Unbelievable, I'm so proud of them. Unbelievably well.
The power to decide who will stay in the contest now rests squarely with the jury.
Choral stimulation. I was blown away by them. The soloist, I thought she was sublime. I loved her tone. I loved what she brought.
The Sons of Pictures, absolutely marvellous. A huge mention to their soloist, who I thought was absolutely stunning on tone.
For me, it was a little bit staid. I was a little bit bored with it.
Stratford East Singers, they had an awesome sound, and everyone was having a really fun time.
But there are tuning issues there, and there are tuning issues throughout.
YesterYear, some lovely elements of comic effects, and the bum wiggle was fantastic.
The thing that I was left with was just all the execution errors.
I would have liked to have done much better.
Gospel essence, thrilling ride with excellent rhythmic style. I absolutely loved what they did.
But it did feel like it was cobbled together a bit.
It would mean everything for us to go to the next stage. We've worked so hard. I didn't anticipate how much it was going to actually improve what we can do.
Restless Symphony. Great distributions of roles in this. The beatbox, I thought that was absolutely fantastic.
I think they had a lot of pitching issues. They needed to do a bit more to stay more in unison.
It's time to vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the results, and I can now tell you who is going through to the next round. These results are in no particular order. It's a huge well done to choral stimulation. The next group staying is... Gospel Essence. Well done. The next group staying in the contest is... The Sons of Pitches. Three groups left now, and only two will be staying on at a cappella school. Staying in the contest this evening is... the Stratford East Singers. Very well done, Stratford East. So that leaves Restless, Symphony and YesterYear. The jury thought this was an incredibly difficult decision in this round. But the group that they felt should stay in the contest is... Restless Symphony. Very well done. That means that YesterYear, very sadly, you will be leaving us at this stage. YesterYear, you know how much I've enjoyed working with you. It's been an utter blast. You've given me hope for my retirement. Sign me up for YesterYear, but not for a couple of years yet. Thank you so much. Really, really enjoyed it, and we will greatly miss your presence in this contest. Can we have one last round of applause?
I feel so proud of these guys. I'm so proud. We're a completely different choir than what we started at the competition with.
I'm absolutely buzzing because we've just achieved something that we never, ever thought we would do.
It's a bit like, I suppose, going on a really, really great holiday. You know, eventually you're going to have to jump on the plane and come home.
It's been really, really good, but we are tired. We would like to go home and rest in our own bed tonight.
Hello. Oh, I'm really sorry, and I'm really sorry to see you go. Some of the performances that you did in here, for me, were stellar. And I shall always be grateful for your dancing. I feel, actually, that on balance it was fair tonight that YesterYear went.
All aboard the Skylark.
The other groups were better tonight. And the whole basis of this contest is about what happened over there. And they didn't bring it. This was incredibly difficult, but now we have to do it all over again, but the stakes are high because the performance is bigger and the groups now know what the level is. There's a lot of hard work ahead. Next time, the focus shifts to performance technique.
Ladies and gentlemen, stand up, use your chest, and use your voice.
The no-nonsense coaching continues.
Don't make it look like you pooed your pants.
And the pressure and the stakes get higher.
This is tough, but something has to change.
As the groups compete for a place in my semi-final. Staying in the contest is...